Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown recently said he plans to push for including as much of the proposed SSI reforms as possible. At a minimum, that would include raising the limits on assets and beneficiaries. So I do think that lawmakers in the Senate should work towards making good improvements to the SSI program. Lawmakers have already put together a bill called the SSI Restoration Act. The SSI Restoration Act would freshen the program's rules, many of which have been in effect for years and are outdated in fact. SSI provides monthly benefits to millions of Americans who have little to no income. The money supports basic needs, like food, clothing, and shelter. 8 million people, including adults, children with disabilities, and seniors, receive this form of benefits. So the SSI Restoration Act that Sherrod Brown has proposed would increase SSI benefits by 31% and bring them to the federal poverty level. It would also index those benefits to inflation. An analysis from the Urban Institute found that the proposed changes would help lift about 3.3 million people out of poverty and also cut the poverty rate among SSI recipients by more than half. Those changes also come with higher cost. The SSA has estimated the proposal would increase SSI payments by about $510 billion from 2022 to 2030. So do you support the SSI Restoration Act? Tell me in the comments down below. Now, I know many of you are wondering when this month's SSI payments will be sent out. Payments for SSI are deposited on the 1st of every month, except in December, when an additional payment is also made on the 30th. For those who receive monthly Social Security benefits and SSI payments, they're typically deposited on the 3rd of every month. The funds will be sent on the 1st because the 3rd falls on a weekend. So for those who receive Social Security benefits, and SSI payments are typically deposited on the 3rd of every month. However, this year in April and July, the funds will be sent on the 1st because the 3rd falls on a weekend. And those between the age of 18 and 64 are the largest group who receive SSI benefits, and their average monthly payment stood at $617 in December of 2021. Around 56% of beneficiaries fall into this age group, while 29.8% are over 65, and the remaining are under 18. Some states offer additional benefits to bolster the amounts that is sent to support disabled children, but the distribution is done. Depends on state law. Some states like California, Hawaii, Iowa, Montana, Nevada, New Jersey, Vermont, even Rhode Island folks have the Social Security Administration send benefits to state providers. That means people can expect to receive both state and federal payments as a one-time check. Pay attention folks, because this is what you got to know. During an interview, Chuck Schumer said that Democrats are making progress on changing the Senate filibuster rules. Now, this means with the filibuster rule changes, that we're going to see more stimulus payments this year. There is some great news for many of you. If you welcomed a newborn into your family in 2021, you will receive and qualify to receive up to $5,000 on your tax refund this year. That's a $5,000 stimulus check. This is due to 2 tax credits in the $1.9 trillion aid package that Joe Biden signed into law. That's in 2021. Parents who meet eligibility requirements will receive $3,600 thanks to an expanded child tax credit and a $1,400 check for dependents. Eligible parents can qualify for both the child tax credit and stimulus check as long as the baby was born by the end of 2021. You can claim this newborn as a dependent when you file your taxes this year. Many families already received this $1,400 stimulus check, but because the checks were in advance of a 2021 tax credit, eligible parents can receive the payment for their newborn this year when filing taxes. And some of you may begin to send your taxes to the IRS in just a few days. People opted to receive all of the monthly child tax credit payments, with there having been the possibility to receive up to $1,800 for each child ages 5 and younger, or up to $1,500 for each child between 6 and 17. The second half of the child tax credit payment would then be sent as a lump sum after your 2021 taxes have been submitted. Yet there will be thousands, if not millions, of parents who decided that the monthly scheme was not ideal for their situation. In this case, they will be eligible to receive up to $3,600 or $3,000 depending on the age of your children. For those who opted out of the monthly child tax credit scheme, whether that was first or before the first one was sent out, you can receive the full amount once your taxes are filed. Should you have missed any payments due to IRS errors or because you unenrolled, this money will be included in your tax return. Therefore, there is a chance, big chances, for you to claim any of the child tax credit money that you didn't get in 2021, with it being at least half. But by now, you should have received a letter from the IRS, which states how much money you received in 2021, as this will be needed to declare in your taxes. IRS officials are warning that the agency is facing enormous challenges during this tax filing season. A report from Congress that is, by the National Taxpayer Advocate, says that the IRS is in crisis and needs to apply resources to its core mission, so processing returns and paying the corresponding refunds. It's important to remember that there may be delays with tax refunds. Everybody, that's the breaking news about the fourth stimulus check. I hope you found this video useful. Thank you again for your support.
So last week, the President of the United States, Joe Biden, fired off a warning to a private company, Kellogg Cereal, which has 1,400 employees who are out on strike. And he told them, do not try to replace those workers. Quote, permanently replacing striking workers is an existential attack on the union and its members' jobs and livelihoods. I strongly support legislation that would ban that practice. Now, for over 2 months now, the workers at 4 Kellogg cereal plants in Michigan, Nebraska, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee have been demanding enhanced benefits and pay after working longer hours during the coronavirus pandemic. And a main issue for striking workers has been the companies created a kind of two-tiered wage system which offers lower pay and fewer benefits to newer workers. This is fairly common in a lot of places. It's a way of kind of breaking up the solidarity between the two groups. Last week, members of the union rejected a tentative contract negotiated by their own union. Today, Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont wrote this opinion piece for Fox News titled, Kellogg Strike, Workers Must Get Our Support. In the first line of the piece, he announced his plans to head to one of those striking plants in Battle Creek, Michigan tomorrow. Well, late this afternoon, we got news the union has now reached another tentative deal. This means members will meet tomorrow to discuss the deal and vote on the new proposal on Sunday. And Senator Bernie Sanders, the chair of the Senate Budget Committee, joins me now. Good to have you on, Senator. Why do you feel this is important enough to go out to Battle Creek tomorrow for?
Because it is a struggle against the kind of corporate greed, Chris, that we are seeing all over this country. It's the same old story. This is a company that last year made $1.4 billion in profit, a company that can afford to provide $12 million in compensation to its CEO. And meanwhile, the reason it made this money is because during the pandemic, these workers, unbelievably, they were working 50, 60, 70 days in a row, sometimes 12 hours a day in order to feed America. I talked to a guy there who worked 120 days in a row. Can you imagine that? That's totally insane. So these workers literally put their well-being, their families, their lives on the line in order to feed America, in order to keep the company going. And then the company's response was to the strike is, well, we're going to cut all of your health care benefits. So you got workers out there who have no health insurance now. We're going to bring in replacement workers. Oh, yeah, I know you have